Hello, my name is Carl Surrey and this is a video tutorial for the Facebook group called Fans of Serif Software, and we're going to be looking at a tutorial for Photo Plus X8. Now in this tutorial we've been looking at trying to make a pencil drawing from an image. Now I know you can do this from going to like effects, and then you can go to the artistic and you can go to the pencil filter or even paint and ink, possibly give you the effect that you're after. And I have also in the past done a written tutorial which can be downloaded from the Facebook group pages, where I looked at making a pencil drawing using macros. But this is going to be a slightly different way of making a pencil drawing from an image, and to be fair, there are two different versions I'm going to show you, and they are just slight variations on the same theme, but the second one works better in a sort of a less cluttered image like this one, and one where it has some details for it to actually pick up the details to draw the lines needed to make the image up. There's a lot of detail in an image. The second method can get a bit confused or confusing, so it's just an alternative I want to show you that you can use. Right, so the first method, which I think will pretty much work on just about any image, and it's quite an easy method. So this is the image I'm going to use, which is of the Naze Tower near where I live in Walton-on-the-Naze. And first we want to do is come up to the effects menu, click on that and come down to Edge and then find all. And this is basically almost instantaneously made this into a drawn image, admittedly with some colour in there. So the next thing we want to do is to sort of lose some of the colours that are there. Now I'm not going to do this as a layer, but I'm going to do it as just the tool in its own right, which is to convert it to black and white. So I'm coming up to Image, Adjust, and then down to black and white. Now you could tinker with some of the colour controls here, depending on your image, of course. I mean, my tower, there's a sort of yellow and orange and red in there, so I could possibly just tinker with the settings on one of those and make it lighter or darker. So if I bring the orange down, it brings up a bit more detail in that tower, and possibly a bit more detail in the sky if I tinker with the blue and the cyan. So a lot of it depends on how much detail you want in your end result of the pencil drawing, but once you are happy, just click OK. And to a certain extent you could almost just leave that there as your finished image, but you could also just have a slight tinker and add a levels layer, which you can either just click on levels up here, or you can go to layers, new adjustment layer, levels. And as you can see down here in the layers display area, you now have a levels layer above the background. So really you only really need to move the mid-tones pointer. If you go to the left, it will make it overall lighter, and you go to the right, it will make it darker. So a lot of it depends on the end result you're trying to get, whether you want it more a light pencil image or a darker pencil image. And then once you are happy with the results that you have, you can just go back to layers and to merge all, and then you can save button save as, depending on how you want to save it or export it, which is what I invariably do. I find export to be a much better option. Right, so that is how to do the first version, and it's very quick and it's very easy. And I will reload this picture again, and we will look at the second version. Right, so I've reloaded this image of the tower again, and we are now going to look at the second alternative way of making a pencil line drawing from a photograph. And again, we're going up to effects, to edge, and this time we're not going to use find all, we're going to use trace contour. And trace contour will open up this box here, which gives you some controls, which is the slider, which changes the levels either to the left or to the right, and then you have the edge lower or edge upper buttons. Now, this doesn't work quite the way that you'd think most controls would work, because you'd think that moving the slider to the left would make something lighter, would either lighten the image or find less edges, and moving it to the right would darken the image or find more of the edges. To a certain extent, this does happen a bit, but it does give varying results as you move the slider. If I will give you a quick demonstration, I'll just move this slightly to the left, so it's finding different edges. A bit further down, it's finding less edges, it goes there. So as you can see, you're getting all sorts of different results, and you have no real control over what you can and can't get. So if you're looking for a certain result, it would be almost impossible doing this. Is a case of moving the slider up and down to find a version that you like. Now, if you do find a version you like, I would suggest that you make a note of it, say like on the level 89 using lower edge, and then just carry on and see if you can find something else that you might prefer elsewhere on the slider or maybe on the upper edge. So what is basically happen is the tool adds a threshold filter to each of the three color channels, red, green and blue, and depending on the quantity of the shades of each of those colors, as you move the slider, it will find, say for example, more green at one point and less red, and you might move it a bit further down and it will find more red than it will green. So the more detail that you have in an image and sort of less cluttered with colours as such and what have you, it will make this process easier. To also add to the confusion, you also have like this option, which I said before, of using the lower or upper. The lower edge option, it will find the brightest pixels, and the upper edge option, it will find the darkest pixels. So if I put the point in the upper button and then move the slider to the left, you see you're getting all sorts of various versions of this drawing here, this image I should say. So it is a very hit and miss process. It's a lot of trial and error. So what I was going to do with this image, I'm going to put it back onto lower, and I'm going to type this in because I've already made a note of this. It's 160, and I am going to keep that at that position, and as you can see, there doesn't seem to be a lot of detail at the moment. So again, you've got all these colours in here, and what I'm going to do is, again, like the previous method, I'm going to go to image, adjust down to black and white, and now you can see it. You have got a bit more detail now. I've converted this to black and white, and like before, you can tinker with the colours to get more detail however you want it. So I'll just click OK on that, and then again, like before, I'm going to add an adjustment levels layer, and as you can see, there's not much here in the histogram as far as pixels, because most of it is grey or white, but I'm just going to move this slider to the right to make it darker. So I'm happy with that as it stands. So I'll just come to layers, merge all, and as you can see, that has gone a bit lighter than I was hoping. Don't know quite why that happened. Shouldn't have done. Don't know why that happened. Probably, let's try that again, merge all. What I might do is add another levels layer, make it a bit darker, and try again. Yeah, it's slowly getting darker each time. I think it's mainly because there are not many pixels there for it to hold on to, so it's going to be a slow process. So I may have to add a few levels layers to get it darker as you want, but I will leave this tutorial at this point. As I said, the second method is a bit more hit and miss. But you will get sort of slightly more, probably weirder and varied versions than you will with the first method. Neither method is perfect, but it is a different way of getting a pencil drawing. I hope you've learnt something from this and you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.